Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I was just looking around the world in Alliance map mode, and I realized there is indeed another nation that is not currently in a faction, specifically our faction. And that nation is Cherokee up here. They were guaranteed by Ming, so we never declared on them. But we should justify on them. We can't currently, we don't have the political power, but that's okay. We will get there soon enough. So we're going to attack these guys and all of these guys over here. And that will be wonderful. Now, Cambodia, we're going to be done justifying on them very shortly. We're going to have these guys. This is going to be massive overkill. We're going to have these guys front line right here. And their offensive line is simply going to be a push to the sea. There we go. And they can go ahead and execute that as soon as they are ready, and we've declared, that is. We have not currently declared, of course. We're still waiting on our justification there for a few more days. So we need, just a couple days here. That's not too bad. As far as our Indochina justification goes, that's a ways away, and because we're justifying on multiple things at once, it's much slower, but that's okay. Yeah, we've got a ways to go over there as well. So we're definitely going to wait until we're done justifying against Cambodia before we start anything else. Not like we have an option, to be fair. Do we have any ability right now, and not that I would do it currently, but do we have any ability to do any prospecting? No, we do not. Okay. That is completely fine. I'm not concerned about that. We do need to be thinking about how we want to tackle... What is this? Okay, that is not Kalaturis. We need to be thinking about how we want to tackle pushing people out of our faction. However, we do have this unassigned division. We can toss them in here. And then we have an additional unassigned division here. And where do we want to put them? That's a good question, to be sure. Here. We put them here. Okay, that'll do the trick. Wonderful. Justification on Cambodia is now finished. So we will go ahead and declare our war. We're not going to call in our allies. And in we go. Fantastic. Yes, they are going to start immediately pushing us, but that's okay. As our troops make it to the front line over here, we will have, in theory anyway, absolutely no problem with this. I'm wondering where we're going. Just kind of in general. There we go. Now everybody's actually assigned there. Perfect. Are they also assigned to this? Yes, they are. Okay. Cambodia will not last long. They may push us out a little bit because we weren't really in position, but that's not really an issue. Yeah, we're already pushing them in over here, so that's completely fine. Free India is returning their expeditions. That's fine. I don't mind that. They can do that all they want. So we are going to fight Cambodia a bit. And the question now is, do these others speed up automatically, or do they remain the same? It looks like they actually remain the same. We may want to actually cancel this justification. And then if we were to re-justify this, see how much shorter that is? Interesting, huh? So the question is, would we be better off to cancel the one against Indochina here? I think the answer is yes. Yeah, that's actually more efficient for us time-wise. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll only justify one at a time for right now. So we're definitely going to have to make sure that we have troops over here, but Cambodia will fall incredibly quickly. This is not even going to be a problem. While that's happening, we can go ahead and get some infrastructure construction going on over here. That's great. Absolutely fantastic. Cambodia has capitulated. Okay. So that was easy. Great. So Indochina is, of course, next. We'll go ahead and have these guys frontline around Indochina. Once again, this is massive, massive overkill. We're going to have the front line be right there, and we're going to just go ahead and execute that as soon as we can, but that's going to be a while. In the meantime, we need to be looking at our faction. So I want to look at, where do we actually see our faction here? Occupied territories, yeah, that's all well and good. But we aren't currently on civilian oversight. And I think that's completely okay. Yeah, I think that's completely fine. But what I wanted to look at was at nations such as Tibet here. Now, they have non-aggression pacts with the liberated states of the British West Indies. But they're not a subject nation of Free India. So we would be able to kick them from our faction. The question is, if we did this, the countries that you kick might retaliate against you. Like we care. We're going to hold off on that for the time being, but that's going to be the next plan, is we're going to get started on taking out countries like Kalachurus and Tibet. Free India is going to be a mess, but it's not going to be an impossible one. It will be, in fact, quite simple, I believe. So that is great. As far as our justification over here, we have 125 days left on that. Or actually, less than that, like 118. We could start justifying over here, and I think it's probably worthwhile to get started on that since the minimum is 125. This is only 60 additional days, and it's going to take us more than 60 days to get this going. So that's completely fine. No, Alaska. Get out of here. And then there is, of course, Cherokee over here. If we were to justify on them, that would be 375 days, so that would be twice as long. That is, I think, not worthwhile to justify on just yet. However, I am going to tell these guys to forget about that front line, and their orders are to frontline these guys. Come on over here, and then their offensive line would just be a push in like that. And they can execute that as soon as war is declared. Perfect. So I do think that we should go after countries like Tibet and Kalachurus first. Anything that's a puppet nation of Free India, we can't kick directly from the faction because they're a subject of Free India. So that is definitely problematic for us, right? To be sure. Kalachurus, on the other hand, that's a decent option. Oh, they're a colony of Free India. I did not realize that. Okay, Tibet is an option, but I think literally every other nation is a subject nation of Free India. So it's literally just Tibet. Both of these up here are subject nations of Free India. And I mean, they'll die quite easily, right? But it's gonna be a bit of a fight to take out Free India, for sure. I mean, we can set up beforehand, but this over here is going to be a mess. That's for sure. We'll be able to push in from over here. Yeah, that would work. Push in from over here. We'll have to do some naval invading, though. Is there any connection over here? Yeah, there actually is. So we wouldn't have to naval invade. We would have to naval invade this. We wouldn't have to naval invade any of that. Unless Indian W-34 capitulated, I suppose. There's Pratihar in Australia. That's a thing. And there's just generic islands kind of scattered all over that Free India took. So that's going to be a mess, but I don't think it will be an unmanageable one. I think it'll be completely okay. How long do we have on this justification here? We need another roughly... Actually, that's quite a while yet. Okay, we should definitely start thinking about how we're going to handle this then. So I'm going to tell where are these guys located. They're just up here? That's fine. I'm going to tell these guys to go ahead and frontline around Tibet. Like so. Make sure that they're assigned to that. There we go. And their offensive line would essentially be... I want it to be something like... I will just have it be this. Should, in theory, do the trick. Okay, and then we're going to have these guys here. In fact, we're probably going to have the rest of this army group around this section of Tibet. So we will go ahead and... Actually, we can't do these like this, can we? No, we can't. Well, we'll just do it the easy way then. And we'll assign them in there. And then these guys will frontline to here, and we'll assign them in there. And we'll frontline these guys as well. Excellent. And then we will frontline these guys as well. No, I don't want to disband that. Which one of these? I'm not sure which one of these it's supposed to be. Is it my imagination, or are there only 3 there? Okay, now there are 4. So I know for a fact... Okay, there we go. It's a huge mess. Why am I doing it this way? This is a terrible way to do this. So we're just going to remove all of these. Wonderful. This is an absolutely awful way to do this. And we're going to just have the army group frontline this. These guys are assigned separately. And then we'll offensive line them somewhere around... Do they have a victory point in here? They do. The victory point is up over here. Okay, so, I mean, I kind of don't care. Something along the lines of that. That should probably get them to capitulate, I think. Wonderful. Okay, so we have an invasion plan over here. We have one for Kamshadals. We have one for Cherokee. And overall, I think we're good to go on that front. So I want to wait until all of these guys are freed up before we start planning our war against Free India. And that's going to be an extensive planning period. There's no doubt about that. We can start moving some of these unassigned divisions into some of these armies, though. That is definitely something that we can do. And I suppose we can use some of these armies that are... Oh, these guys are all up over here, right. Some of these armies, like this army group over here, we can start doing things like having them be stationed... Oh yeah, there's no connection over here. Having them be stationed over here with their offensive line being that they should just push down to the southern tip of the Indian subcontinent. There we go. And they can go ahead and execute that as soon as we're actually at war here. This is only 16 divisions? Oh, it is only 16 divisions. Okay. This army can be responsible for dealing with this pocket of Free India. I'm sure that no one has any suspicions about what we're doing here. None whatsoever. We're going to put their offensive line somewhere like that. Okay, and that is Army 12. They can go ahead and execute that. Wonderful. These guys, I mean, this is going to be a full army group in this section of Free India for sure, but maybe they would border Kalachuris over here. And then their idea would be that their offensive line is, you know, something like this. That doesn't seem to have taken. Oh, no, it did. What am I talking about? It definitely did take. Okay, so that is completely fine. They will definitely do something along the lines of that. Fantastic. Okay, these guys, they are going to come all the way down over here. I'm not sure who is assigned to that. Absolutely no one, I think. And these guys will be positioned here for now. And their orders will be essentially to just push an offensive line. Just like that. Wonderful. And then down over this way, This is going to be a bit of a mess, to be sure. That is actually accessible from the land. Okay. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. We're going to tell these guys to come down over to here then. And their mission, of course, will be an offensive line that is, honestly, all the way over here, I think. Like, can they reach that without a naval invasion? Yeah, they can. They absolutely can. But that would be their offensive line. They don't seem to have taken that offensive line. That's okay. I mean, that's a wacky offensive line, I suppose. Yeah, they don't like that one. Fair enough. We'll tell them that their offensive line would be here. No? Okay. Probably because these guys aren't currently in a war. Yeah, that'll work for now. But that's definitely not the final say here. Let's see. We currently have a free military factory, which is a little bit shocking. Okay. Honestly, I don't feel like we need anything. So I'm just going to kind of ignore that. We have free civilian factories as well, which is completely fine. We are building a lot of infrastructure right now. That's to be expected. Hello. Missed some infrastructure over there. I'm sure there's a few locations that I've missed infrastructure. Can be hard to see from this zoomed out situation. But that is okay. Excellent. Now, this is, of course, not the end of our planning here, but we're just waiting at this point until we have some of our additional units freed up. So that'll be okay, and we'll just try to make sure that these fall relatively quickly. We're going to need to start justifying on Tibet, but it's going to be a little while before we can actually do that. Of course, we're going to have to kick them out of our faction, and our existing faction members may have a problem with that at some point, but I think literally everyone else in the faction is a subject state of Free India. I'm pretty sure they are. And if they're not, we can clean them up afterwards. So essentially the idea is this. We take out Indochina. That'll happen super, super quickly. And that justification will be done in about 30 days. And then we will finish up Kamshadals, which that justification will be done in about 100 days. We'll need to start justifying on Creek. So I'm going to bump up to speed 5 here, since we're literally just waiting at this point. We're going to bump up to speed 5 and get our justification finished. Nice and quick. Yep, we are indeed questioning their sovereignty. Wonderful. Should be any moment now. No, Newfoundland are not ready yet. Okay, it's still going to be a little bit. That's fine. Another 15 days, make that 14, 13. Yeah, this will be done relatively quick. Maybe we even stay on speed 5 for right now. Just because I don't expect this to be any level of challenge. I mean, we probably don't... Oh, we're actually fine on supplies. Okay, we're less... Okay, we're fine on supplies. I'm a little bit shocked about that one. They're not ready. Get out of here. But yeah, we've just got a little bit of cleanup to do. Our justification is finished. So we will go ahead and conquer them. And in we go. Once again, I'm staying on speed 5. This is not going to be a challenge. For Free India, we will certainly not stay on speed 5, but this is completely fine. Indochina has capitulated. Okay. I'm a little shocked that that didn't actually end. There we go. Just had to wait for a day tick, I guess. Fantastic. Okay, now, as far as this up here goes, how much further are we? We still need about 60 days. That's fine. We'll continue on this speed for now. And this army group which is these guys, we're going to tell them that their mission is to just frontline against Free India. Now, this is only a part of Free India here. That's okay. We are going to have to rework that eventually. So we will work on repopulating these armies as we can. Wonderful. Nope, America is not ready yet. Excellent. So we're going to stick to speed 5 for the moment. However, we should probably immediately, before I forget, begin justifying on Cherokee over here. 185 is okay. I don't mind that. As long as it's going to take more than 60 days to finish up this justification. Which at this point it technically isn't, but we'll leave it as is. 35 days here should be okay. And then, of course, we're going to kick Tibet out of the faction. I'm sure they won't see that coming. We're definitely not taking a hostile position or anything. I'm sure it'll be fine. And yeah, we're going to want to manually space this out a little bit differently. Like, we'll have an army like here, an army here or so, an army here, an army here, so on and so forth. That'll be fine. We'll want to make sure that we aren't covering this area, of course, but we'll have to cover this right here, and we'll have to come in over here. That's a whole big thing. But we'll deal with that when we need to. I mean, you can't trust them. Look how neutral they are. Actually, technically, they're in the alliance of the Ming Empire still. That is kind of sad, I'll be honest. I feel sorry for those poor guys. Technically, this is also Kamshadal's. Okay. We may have to naval invade that. If they don't capitulate. We'll have to see. Okay, our justification on them is complete. We will crush their bourgeoisie dictatorship. Fantastic. In we go. This will be literally no threat. Do they even have troops? I am not convinced that they have troops. And they capitulated. Okay. So they had no troops. Fantastic. Wait, there's still more things? There we go. Take all states. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we'll get this group, which is these guys. We'll get them set up over here. They can frontline right there. Excellent. And of course, now I'm going to bump it off of speed 3 for the moment. That said, there's still Cherokee over here. And their justification is only like half done. I'm actually going to put it back up to max speed. We'll crush Cherokee, and then we will start working on Tibet. Now, I'm not sure if kicking them out will have to justify on them. I'm guessing we will, which means that we probably should do it now. Okay, so we allegedly have kicked them out, and we are now justifying on them. That'll take 185 days. Perfect. So I'm pretty sure, since Kalaturis is a colony of Free India, I'm pretty sure that means that everyone other than Tibet is part of Free India. Which means that we're going to have one last big war. Of course, we're going to have to take care to actually control all of these locations. And that will take substantially more setup than we've done. So next episode will definitely have to be more setup. There's no doubt about that. But we will also take out the Cherokee, as well as taking out Tibet. However, for now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will finish off these last two areas, and then we will look at fighting Free India. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time. Get out of here. They're not ready yet. What a bunch of jerks.